The silence after the chaos hung in the air, thick and confused. Everyone stared at Michael Hand, disgraced, muddy, moustacheless, now wriggling on the sticky pub floor like an eel in denial. Pete, eyes narrowed in that way that made him look either wise or vaguely gassy, turned to Brian and muttered, "The Hand." Brian, still breathing heavily, replied, "Yes, I know, Pete. It's Michael Hand." Pete didn't blink. "No, you don't understand. The sarcophagus. Remember the note? The handcuffs?" It warned us. He paused for dramatic emphasis. Brian's eyes widened, the dusty cogs turning in his toasty-fed brain. "Of course," he gasped. "It's all been leading to this. It wasn't just nonsense and spooky decorative props. It was prophecy." David, meanwhile, was mid-breakdown behind the bar. He was wiping pint glasses with a rag and muttering softly, "Maybe this is fine. Maybe this is normal. Maybe the bar is a metaphor and I'm just cleaning up my soul." Brian stood tall. "We can't call the police. They said they'd never return after the Clown Bush incident." Pete nodded solemnly, his pint still in hand. "We do this ourselves." Raymond, finally feeling useful, scooped up a large handful of leftover mud grenade and hurled it at Michael. It hit with a theatrical splop, momentarily stunning the imposter. Then the rat, sensing its time to shine, launched off Raymond's shoulder with the grace of a trapeze artist and latched onto Michael's trouser leg, growling like a furry blender. "Catch!" Pete shouted and tossed the handcuffs across the room in a perfect arc. Brian caught them one-handed, spun dramatically, and slapped them onto Michael Hand's wrists like a slightly out-of-practice superhero. Gunther, howling with glory, charged across the pub and body-slammed the now-restrained Michael into the open sarcophagus. A puff of mysterious ancient air whooshed out as the lid slammed shut with a satisfying thunk. Everyone paused. Even the rat gave a little nod of satisfaction. They stood around, panting, muddy, oddly proud. Brian, brushing dust off his sleeve, said, "Right, now let's call the police again. Maybe if I tell them it's about Michael Hand, they'll believe us." To everyone's surprise, they did. The police arrived with reluctance and a distinct sense of déjà vu. They inspected the scene, listened to Brian's explanation in stunned silence, and then, after a suspicious amount of muttering, nodded solemnly. "We'll take it from here," one said, as they wheeled the sarcophagus, with occasional shouts from within, into the back of a van bound for Dartmoor prison. Back in the now quiet pub, David emerged from behind the bar. He picked up a cloth, sighed deeply, and began to wipe the counter with the little optimism he had left. "Well," he said, "at least the health inspector's gone." Pete returned to his seat, took a long sip of his pint and muttered, "Just another day at the pub."